Coming up on First at 4, a man is cited for animal cruelty after police say he tied a dog to the back of his car. And we'll talk to Congressman Hal Rogers about cleanup efforts after the flooding on Lake Cumberland.
And our next system works into the region Wednesday and Thursday. First at 4 is next.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, we're going to begin with some breaking news involving the UK basketball team. Possibly some tough news for the Cats and their fans as they head to Jacksonville to tip off the NCAA tournament. Star player P.J. Washington has apparently been in a walking boot since Sunday. Now, the university says it is for precautionary reasons, but would not go into further details. Hopefully, he will take the floor during their open practice tomorrow. At 6 o'clock, we'll break down what it might mean for the Cats if P.J. cannot play Thursday against Abilene Christian. We learned today that a man is facing a second-degree animal cruelty charge in Perry County after he supposedly tied the animal to the back of his car. The citation says L.H. Neese was mad at his dog for running off. The dog is still alive. WYMT's Connor James breaks down what we know.
Now, we did learn from this citation given to us by the Perry County Sheriff's Department that Neese allegedly got mad at his dog for running away. Neese lives on Condy Lane. Apparently, when the dog ran off, he had to go get him. That made him mad, and that's when he attached the dog to a chain and put it on the back of his car. The dog's feet were apparently bloody. You can see this trail from the dog's footprints leading police to where the dog lived and who its owner was. People who live out near where this happened on Condy Lane say this is upsetting.
Oh yeah, it's upsetting me now. Defenseless little animals that all they want is love and food and a warm place to sleep.
Now, Neese does face a second-degree cruelty to animal charge. I'm in Perry County. Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
The dog is currently with the Arrow Fund in Louisville. We will have much more on what happened coming up at 6. A teenager is behind bars after police say he led officers on a high-speed chase through multiple eastern Kentucky counties. State police say this teen, 19-year-old Deontay White of Lexington, refused to pull over this morning after police spotted him driving more than 100 miles per hour on Interstate 75. The police chase spanned through multiple counties, including Madison, Rockcastle, and Laurel. The chase ended just outside of Barberville on Highway 6 in Knox County. Police arrested White and charged him with speeding and fleeing or evading police. In 2013, an Eastern Kentucky woman died after bed sores led to septic shock in her body. Since then, Bridget Howard's father, Tommy Howard, has been working with 92nd State Representative John Blanton. By sharing Bridget's story, they were able to stiffen regulations in hopes no one else will suffer.
A Type B violation is a violation of concern. A Type A violation is a serious violation that could lead to death.
October 12th, which is the date of Bridget Howard's death, will be named Pressure Sore Awareness Day, urging all Kentuckians to remember the regulatory penalties in her memory. We'll have much more about this coming up at 5:30. We are finding out more about the Michael Cohen raid in April 2018. Dozens of pages of partially redacted documents were released this morning. This comes after a federal judge ruled to unseal them. Here's a glimpse of what the documents show. Investigators went after Cohen's Gmail accounts going back to 2015 during Cohen's time at the Trump Organization. Prosecutors asked for data from Cohen's cell phones the month before the 2016 election. They also tracked Cohen's incoming and outgoing calls for 2 months after the raid when he was in touch with Trump and his lawyers.
Well, the last full day of winter here in Eastern Kentucky. Of course, spring begins tomorrow, and a lot of people hoping for some spring weather. Of course, right now were pretty nice. Temperatures in those lower 50s, cloud cover up to the north, and we'll begin to look at clouds increase ahead of a next system that brings rain chances late Wednesday into your Thursday. Right now, no complaints though here in the Commonwealth. 55 in Bowling Green, 55 as well in Hazard, with 57 in Lexington. And look at these temperatures even across our area, anywhere from those upper 40s to mid 50s at this time. And as we go throughout tonight, we'll look at those temperatures to reach 32, a little bit warmer than the previous couple of nights. Will be clear and cool, and calm winds will be the big story. But as we head into this week, we do see a little bit of a cooler pattern, followed by maybe a warmer spell. Steve will break down when you'll see some cooler temperatures, followed by warmer temperatures coming up in a few short minutes.
All right, thank you, Andrew. It's been several weeks since Lake Cumberland reached historic levels. The lake is still dropping, and there will be a lot of cleaning up along the shores to get the lake ready for the summer boating season. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has the latest from Pulaski County.
I am standing on the banks of Lake Cumberland in the community of Burnside. Behind me is Burnside Marina. This is one of the marinas that we visited last week and in the last couple of weeks, telling you about the impact of the rising lake on this area, and we are told that they will have a lot of cleaning up to do in the wake of the lake reaching those historic levels during the very wet month of February. Now, we met up with Congressman Hal Rogers during a ribbon cutting this morning. That was at a business in Monticello. Now, he says Wolf Creek Dam did its job in holding back a tremendous amount of water that would have resulted in a devastating flood had the dam not been there. Now, he says local counties can appeal to the governor for a federal emergency declaration, and if that meets the threshold, the governor can then ask for a federal declaration. In the meantime, Rogers says there's a number of organizations and measures in place to assist in the cleanup of trash and debris left behind.
There's going to be a lot of trash cleanup for years to come, but the Pride organization is already engaging in trying to clean up, and various other groups, Friends of Lake Cumberland, for example.
I am also told by Congressman Hal Rogers' office that there is a cleanup scheduled through the Pride organization for May the 11th. Now, they hope to have that in April, but they don't think that the lake is going to drop enough for them to have that next month. So again, that cleanup is scheduled for May the 11th. Lake Cumberland in Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Some marina owners told us that in addition to the cleanup of trash, logs, and other debris, they believe they have to make some repairs to the docks as well. The Midwest is bracing for a new round of flooding as rivers in 40 locations rise to historic levels. More than 70 cities in Nebraska are under emergency declarations from the last round of flooding that killed at least 3 people. This is the view from the sky over the flooded Midwest. You can see miles and miles of devastation. In Fremont, the people who live there are nearly isolated by water. A convoy led by the Nebraska National Guard delivered aid along the restricted routes.
I think it's good to see the community come together, bringing supplies in from Omaha and other towns. Everyone's helping out.
Since yesterday, more than 4,000 people were forced to leave their homes in at least 4 states. Rising rivers have breached nearly 200 miles of levees. UN officials say a storm ravaging southern Africa could end up being the worst weather-related disaster to hit the southern hemisphere. More than 1,000 people are feared dead after a cyclone struck last week. The cyclone damaged or destroyed 90% of Mozambique's port city of Beira. The cyclone then dumped huge amounts of rain on Zimbabwe and Maui. Humanitarian aid agencies say the emergency is getting worse. More than 400,000 are homeless. 2 people are dead and others injured after a commercial bus crashed on Interstate 95 in Prince George County in Virginia this morning. State police say the bus overturned when it tried to take an exit ramp. The bus was carrying 57 people and was traveling from Florida to New York. It's unclear what caused the bus to overturn. As you can see, very foggy there this morning, though. The Los Angeles Coroner's Office ruled actor Christoph St. John's February death was an accident. The Emmy Award-winning actor was best known for his role as Neil Winters on CBS's The Young and the Restless. The 52-year-old was found dead in his San Fernando Valley home on February 3rd. According to the coroner, the actor died from heart disease combined with an accidental alcohol overdose. Let's head over to Wall Street now on this Tuesday afternoon. The Dow closes down today more than 26 points. General Motors says employees from its closed plant in Lordstown, Ohio now have new jobs. A spokesperson announced today that 500 workers were transferred to other locations and nearly 350 were eligible for retirement. Workers who move will get up to $30,000 in transfer assistance from the company. Well, we want to remind you about Hoops Hysteria on WYMT.com and your chance to play our NCAA tournament bracket game. You can also compete against some of the WYMT staff and win a 65-inch smart TV. A $1 million prize will be awarded nationally if someone correctly picks all the games. You have until 15 minutes before the first game on Thursday to sign up. Straight ahead on First at 4, the dinosaurs are coming back to the Smithsonian after a 4-year absence. We'll have a sneak peek just ahead.
And the rain chances are returning here to the mountains. We'll break down what you need to know and also preview that weekend coming up in a few short minutes.
This is breaking news from Wolf, Williams & Reynolds. 80 to 90% of workers who apply for disabled Social Security or black lung benefits get turned down the first time. Half or more of those believe the process is over. Not so. That's where the experience of Wolf, Williams & Reynolds can help. If you've been turned down for disabled Social Security or black lung benefits, call 1-800-446-0167. Get the process for relief started today. Wolf, Williams & Reynolds. This is an advertisement.
It's the Kentucky Lottery's 30th anniversary. Back then, there were no memes, no streaming music, or smartphones. You could win $2,500 on a scratch-off, but that was then. Introducing Break Fort Knox, a $30 scratch-off celebrating 30 years with a top prize of $3 million.
We've been on the road a while now, we're driving all around. Stopping at food cities for the cheapest gas in town. We're racking up those points for every dollar that we spend. And Mama's looking happy now. She must have found a deal again.